I walked in his house and he's laying on the couch. And I says, what's up? What's going on? And he says, Dad, I got something bad to tell you. I have a pill problem. What do you mean you have a pill problem? He said, I'm taking prescription opioids and I'm buying them off the streets and I can't stop. I need help. If I don't get help, I'm gonna die.
Hi, Daniel. How old are you?
Daniel was born April 22nd, 1985, and it was everything I could ever wish for. He was an absolute delight. He was funny, a little bit mischievous, but not too much. He would put a smile on me every time I came home from work. Just the apple of my eye. You know, it really wasn't until his 6th grade period I started noticing a little bit of anxiety issues.
See, I always lose my place in line.
I noticed that he stopped going to school dances and to malls and to public places, and I just thought, this is just a stage, he'll grow out of this.
We are exposing children to a world that doesn't exist in real life. By screens and society, they are constantly overexposed and their brains are underprocessed.
So with the rapid fire of new technology that just keeps coming at kids, they're the most connected but disconnected generation we have. They are connected to other people via technology 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. But they don't connect in person. Humans are a tribal, communal species. We are meant to be with other people. We get along better when we have others around us. And so because we do have a generation that hasn't been practicing that in-person human connection with others, they're the most connected, disconnected generation. And that's going to play out, again, in their families. It's going to play out in their education. It's going to play out in the workplace.
As kids get older, they will find a way to work through these feelings. Hopefully, they can be introduced to coping strategies and skills, but if not, someone may introduce them to something illegal or a substance that will help eliminate these feelings. The longer we wait to introduce them to healthy ways of coping, the more likely they are to sort of fall into a quick fix, which is usually much more dangerous.
Initially, when we started in Pee Wee football, he was making excuses of why he couldn't play. I had a stomach ache, or I don't feel good, or complaints that I didn't believe. So I pushed it off and pushed him into playing that game. Towards the end of the season, he started having blood in his urine. We went to specialist after specialist after specialist. About all of them could offer us was test after test after test, which most of them were negative. But here's a prescription for pain, prescription opioid. Me as a parent is handing him 3 or 4 of these a day because the doctor told me to. If I missed a dose, Daniel would tell me it's time for my pill, Dad. He did not take these pills for pain. He took them to address the other issues that all started with unregulated emotions that neither of us ever talked about.
It's become very clear to anyone in a school that there is a layer missing. It's not reading, it's not math, it's social emotional learning. Without SEL, we're looking at increased anxiety, higher suicide rates, and I think that's one thing that we can all agree on. We need help. Kids need help, adults need help. We have to wake up, we have to do something. This is not getting better.
We've got to do better. We've got to do better as humans to make sure that our young people and our adults have the skills they need to navigate the world.
Whenever he would have stressors, whenever the noise of the world would get too great and cause substance use disorder, he would go to this farm and he learned how to reboot himself by just a walk in nature and thinking about what he was thinking. He would calm himself down and walk out of the woods, rebooted in a different mindset. But coming back home and into the same cycle of family and your friends, the cycle started 2 or 3 months later. And on December 26th, a phone text went off on my phone, and it says, Daniel is my best friend. The world stopped right then. I knew what that meant. was. Well, the rest is just your parents' worst nightmare. I was struggling myself with what had happened. I would go to this land, and every day a voice would just tell me what to do next. And a park happened, and I noticed other people visiting the park without invitation. It helps a lot of people in a lot of different ways. They're all looking for peace and balance in life, which is what we all need.
We teach in a Title I setting, so we're 100% free and reduced lunch, and the kids don't often leave their neighborhood. And I thought, man, this would be so cool for my kids to come and just experience the same peace and the same feeling that I get at the park. It was amazing. I think the rock stacking was super powerful, and the part where we went by the pond and they just grounded themselves. The way that they just really just kind of melted and just laid there and just were. You know, they just were. They weren't upset, they weren't angry, they weren't worried about food or power or, you know, where their clothes were going to come. Nothing was happening for them other than just being right there and identifying that.
The park is sort of a place of refuge. It's a place where you just instantly step through those trees and you feel it. You feel a power that's greater than you. You feel peace in a way that we don't get in our daily lives. It's just a place where you can be. And that's what we need more of. That's what kids need more of.
I watched that process with these third graders, and I linked it back to Daniel's anxiety, how much that would have benefited Daniel, that I'm now witnessing on this land that I call Daniel's Peace Memorial Park. It was just incredible. This could have changed Daniel's outcome.
I am never going to be able to stop mass shootings. I wish I could. I am never going to be able to stop 15 tornadoes that roll through one Memorial Day evening. I'm not going to be able to stop addiction. I wish I could. I'm not going to be able to stop life struggles. But what I can do is make certain that young people have the skill sets and the competencies that they need to navigate those struggles when they come upon them in life.
That's really what the job is of a school, is to prepare students for the future. And there's nothing that can prepare students more for the future than social-emotional learning.
Sometimes as educators, we can get really bogged down in the reading and the writing and the math and all these core subjects and the instruction, and that is extremely important, but SEL is the base for it all.
Social-emotional learning is the foundation of what we're doing. It should be the most important subject, not something that we just squeeze in.
I sorely needed this. Daniel sorely needed this. Kids nowadays, they need it a lot more than what me and Daniel did. It's time to focus attention in a different direction than what 2 + 2 equals. Kids need help. We all need help. We're all a Daniel.
It's time to make social-emotional learning a priority. Here's how you can make a huge difference. Protect our youth from the harms of excessive social media use. Teach emotional regulation and mental wellness. This is so much more important than what 2 + 2 equals. Like, comment, and share this message. Learn more about social-emotional learning by visiting danielsstory.org.